Good evening, my name is Carol Hernandez. I am going to present my final about seminar in translating English and Spanish text. Oblique translation techniques are a group of translation techniques that cannot be translated literally. This consists of translate from the source text to the target text, which is based on translate on substituting a part of a speech from the source text, called word, phrase, or grammatical structure of the target language in order to guarantee an appropriate translation text. In the oblique techniques, we can mention the transposition, modulation, and equivalence. Transposition is the process where a speech changes when they are translated. Its techniques change the grammatical structure of the sentence because it is different depending on the languages. Modulation consists of using a phrase that is different in the source and target languages to convey the same idea. These techniques make sense of the contents and adapt the message. Equivalence express something in a different way that is familiar or appropriate to another culture. These are science texts. The planet we live on is a kind of text that was difficult for me to translate. Why? Because I found different terms and unknown terms in these texts. I could apply different techniques and I could learn about some terms that I didn't know, such as lichen, mouse, and weathering. It was a kind of term that was difficult for me. It was a term that I learned from this document. My experience in general from this text was good because I get good knowledge from this kind of text. Geography Atlas of the Universe. It is a kind of text that was easy to translate because it contained many information that I know. It is a text that provide me more knowledge about science, about the earth, and this text contain some terms, some borrowed terms like the air, the sun. It speak about the shape of the earth. My difficulty in this text was when I applied the mirror techniques because it's a document that is difficult to do in the same way than in the source text. So it was difficult for me to apply this technique. There we can look two documents, science and technology documents or text. And I want to be a marine biologist. It is a kind of document that is easy to translate because it contains many words, many known words for me. This document is a kind of document easy to use the mirror techniques. In the manual Samsung Galaxy 2 documents, I have some difficulties to apply the mirror techniques because sometimes I lose the information. I had many difficulties on the computer with my computer to apply these techniques. In this document, I could found many borrowing words like app, gallery, Facebook are words that I know in our language. In this document, I get a good experience translating these this document because I learned some words that I don't know. I could learn to apply different techniques in a document. Translation techniques. Borrowing. Borrowing is a technique used to those terms that are to those borrowed terms from one language to another are terms that are used and do not have translation. The translator translate that words in the same that in the source text. For example, in the source text, I have the material loosened by the leaking road is colonized by moss, which breaks down the material further. Material is a borrowed word. At the moment to translate to a target text, the word stay in the same way. Okay, modulation techniques is a techniques that use a different word from the source text to a target text. For example, in this sentence, I apply a different phrase, comprobar. I replace to verify in the target text, but the sentence keep the same meaning. Transposition techniques is a technique that changes the position of the word or the grammatical structure of the sentence. In this sentence, in the source text, I have mi vocación por la biología marina, and I change to the target text my vocation for marine biology. In this case, I use the transposition techniques when I translate biología marina to marine biology. I make a change of the position of the words. And it is transposition techniques because the position of those two words changed at the moment to translate from the source text to the target text. Borrowing techniques is a technique that make use of borrowed words. Borrowed words are those words that are borrowed from another languages. In this sentence, I have the word friends in the source text, and when I translate the sentence in the target text to the target text, the word friends stay the same to the source text. My personal experience during this course, I think that it was good because I could learn to apply different techniques, different translation techniques, and I could understand that some documents or some text use different techniques depending of the content. In general, I get a good experience. I get experience translating text. I could learn different words, new words. I can increase my vocabulary translating those kind of text. I have some difficulties using the technology, but it never stopped me to make what I want to do in this course. So I think that I get a good experience. It was pretty. It was very helpful. Some techniques were difficult to me to apply in those documents. For example, when I translate the word sincerely, I understand that I have to adapt that word to our culture or to the target language in order to get a better understanding. Finally, my experience in this course was great and funny at the same time. I have the satisfaction that I could learn many words. I could increase my vocabulary with all those documents that I were translating.